All right, hello friends. Anthony Florio back with you here on Zone 25 here on YouTube.com. Just wrapped up another great edition of Strictly Sports Presents Football Friday with my colleagues and partners in crime, Derek Ferreira and Michael Bullock. If you missed it, the link's on my Facebook page for you to check out, or you can just go to Derek Ferreira's channel and you can find it there. Um, I told you at the end of the show that I was going to have a video previewing both the American and National League Championship Series. We're going to start with the American League Championship Series between the Detroit Tigers and the New York Yankees. Game 1 will be later tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern Time, on TBS from Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, obviously. So let's get to it. Starting pitching. I mean, when Justin Verlander and CC Sabathia get together, look for it to be a five-star pitchers duel. I mean, two of the best pitchers in the game today. I mean, I don't know which game it's going to be because they both started in Game 5 of their respective series. Verlander on Thursday night, that complete game masterpiece against the Oakland Athletics in Oakland. Complete game, 4-hit shutout, 11 strikeouts. CC Sabathia, just as great of a performance, complete game effort, allowed a run, but still got it done to beat the Baltimore Orioles last night 3-1. Um, Not just about those two. I mean, they have some other solid starters on their rotations as well. Detroit has Max Scherzer and Doug Fister, while the Yanks have Andy Pettitte, Hiroki Kuroda, and Phil Hughes. So you really can't put one over the other. So in a way, I would have to probably call this a draw. I'd probably call it even based on starting rotations. Bullpens, I got to give a slight edge to the Yanks here. I mean, yeah, Detroit has Jose Valverde, but he's really not a good postseason closer. I mean, he has a career postseason ERA of 6.59, and I believe he has like 3 to 5 losses in there somewhere. So, and if you remember in the game on Wednesday night, Game 4 against Oakland, he choked that game away. I mean, the Tigers had that series won. They had a 2-run lead going into the ninth, and then they allowed those 3 runs to Oakland that forced that series to a Game 5, and then the rest was history after that. But as for the Yanks, I mean, we all thought when Mariano Rivera went down with that season-ending injury that he suffered in Kansas City earlier in the year, around April or May, that the Yanks were going to be doomed. But Rafael Soriano, I mean, boy howdy, did he step up. I mean, he, I guess you could say Mariano Rivera sprinkled his magic on him, and look what it did. I mean, I think he had like somewhere between, I think he had like 39, 40 saves this year, filling in for Mo, so that was awesome. And you also have a very reliable setup man in David Robertson, as well as Jabba Chamberlain, Little Jekyll and Hyde. You don't know which Jabba we're going to get. So, I don't know who else Detroit has in their bullpen other than Valverde, but so in a way, I gotta kind of give the bullpen edge to New York. Um, Offensive side of the ball, I mean, both teams are loaded. I mean, the Yanks, Robinson Cano, the captain Derek Jeter, Raul Ibanez, who in my opinion, the MVP of the division series against Baltimore. Let's not kid ourselves. Especially the his 2 clutch home runs in Game 3 of that series that tied the game and then won the game in the 12th inning. So definitely he's going to be one to watch for, as well as Robbie Cano and the captain Derek Jeter. Of course, the struggles of Alex Rodriguez continues. I mean, he's only had that one good postseason in New York. Well, actually, he only had 2 good postseasons in New York. His first one in 2004, and then, of course, the World Series year in 2009. So, and of course, he got benched tonight by Joe Girardi, so we'll have to wait and see how that plays out when the series starts later tonight. You also have Mark Teixeira in there as well. Of course, Curtis Granderson, who pretty much put the Orioles away with the mammoth home run in the 8th inning that made it 3-0, and then that held up. But Detroit, of course, Miguel Cabrera, Triple Crown winner, first since Carl Yastrzemski in 1967. Never thought I'd see that in my lifetime, but it happened. And then, of course, you also have the big money acquisition during the offseason from the Milwaukee Brewers, Prince Fielder. I mean, that's a great 1-2 punch there. And then you have Austin Jackson, Alex Avila, and I mean, they got some great talent on the offensive side of the ball as well. I mean, both offenses are even, if you will. But I kind of got to give a slight edge to the Yanks here, because of the experience factor and pretty much the experience. So, but watch out for Detroit though. I mean, their offense is just as good. So, and of course with the managers, you have Jim Leland for Detroit. I mean, no stranger to the postseason. This is not his first rodeo. You remember in the early 90s with the Pittsburgh Pirates in 1990, 91, and 92. Got them to the NLCS, but they lost all 3 years. 1990 lost to Cincinnati, and then 91 and 92 losing to Michael Fletcher's favorite team, the Atlanta Braves, as we all remember. And haven't done much of anything since, although the last 2 years they've been, they had some great, they were great going into the summer, but then they just faltered after that, story for another day. But he has won a World Series with the Florida Marlins, back when they were the Florida Marlins, because they're the Miami Marlins now, but when they were the Florida Marlins in 1997, that incredible World Series against the Cleveland Indians, that 7-game classic. So, and then of course with Detroit, got them to the World Series in 2006, and then last year got past the Yankees in the Division Series, and then lost to the Texas Rangers in the ALCS. Of course, this time around, they're not playing the Texas Rangers, they're playing the Yankees, so that ought to be very interesting to see how that plays out. And then on the other side of the ball, you got Joe Girardi, who's been in the postseason almost every year except his first year in 2008. That's the only year that the Yankees have missed the playoffs since this new format started in 95. They've been in there every single year except for 2008. Of course, 2009, they won the World Series, as we all know. And then 2010, they lost to the Texas Rangers in the ALCS, and then last year lost to the Detroit Tigers, obviously, in the Division Series. This year, a chance for revenge, and so we'll see what happens with Joe Girardi, too. Of course, you've heard my friend Derek Ferreira mention many times. He's going on a lot of rants about how they should fire Joe Girardi if this keeps up, if the losing keeps up, because, he's channeling his inner George Steinbrenner, but I disagree. I think Girardi's done a great job with the team. Yeah, he's had some questionable decisions, but he's done a great job ever since, Joe Torre left. So that's all I can say with that. So prediction time. Who wins the series? It's going to be very tough. No lies. But based on the home field advantage and based on, the body of work right now, I got to go slight edge to my team, the New York Yankees. I think the Yankees will win this series in 7 games and advance to the World Series for the first time since winning it all in 2009. But mark my words, this is going to be a hell of a series. We could be looking at a 5-star series. I mean, family bragging rights on the line here as well, because my father is a Detroit Tigers fan and I'm a Yankee fan, and I talked to him about it on Friday, and he's just as excited about this series as I am. So it ought to be great. So I like the Yanks in 7. All right. Now we're going to talk about the National League Championship Series. That'll now be with the San Francisco Giants going up against the defending World Series champion St. Louis Cardinals. Of course, the San Francisco Giants winning, coming back from 2-0 down to beat the Cincinnati Reds in the Division Series. Unreal. And then the St. Louis Cardinals. I mean, you thought the Giants' comeback against Cincy was unreal. Look what the St. Louis Cardinals did in Game 5 against the Washington Nationals last night. I mean, 7-5, 2 outs, 9th inning. Where did we see that before? Oh yeah, Game 6 of the World Series, greatest baseball game ever played. They did it again. They exploded for 4 runs in the 9th inning to win the game 9-7 and eliminate the Washington Nationals from the postseason. So Cardinals and Giants, no strangers to one another. They've met in this series before, twice before. Back in 1987, the St. Louis Cardinals won that series. I think it went the distance. I believe that was a best-of-5 series back then. And the Cardinals, if I remember correctly, won that series before losing to Minnesota in the World Series. And then the other time they met was 10 years ago in 2002. Series that went 5 games. This was the best-of-7. 5-game series, and it wound up going to San Francisco. And then, of course, San Francisco, as you know, choked in the World Series against the Angels. Had the World Series won, should have won the World Series, but Angels wound up winning it, as we all remember. All right, let's get into it here. Running short on time here. I'm going to try my best here. Starting pitching, again, you could say it's even. I mean, Adam Wainwright, Kyle Loesch, Jaime Garcia, and Lance Lynn for St. Louis. For San Francisco, you have Tim Lincecum, Matt Cain, Madison Bumgarner, Ryan Vogelsong. I mean, pretty even to say. So I'm going to, once again, like in the AL series, I'm going to give this a draw. I really can't put one over the other. Bullpens, San Fran's without their star closer, Brian Wilson, Fear the Beard. He got hurt, lost for the season. And then from there, I guess you could say Sergio Romo. No, I'm not sure if he's related to Tony Romo, but I don't think he is. But Sergio Romo, I guess, has assumed the role of the closer now. On the other side of the ball, Jason Mott, he's healthy for the St. Louis Cardinals, the leader of that bullpen. So I got to give a slight bullpen edge to the St. Louis Cardinals in that regard. Offense, I mean, Carlos Beltran for St. Louis, and we got a future star in the making in Daniel Descalso. I mean, he was the main reason why the St. Louis Cardinals won Game 5 against the Washington Nationals. 3 for 5, double homer, couple RBIs. So I think he's going to have a big series. Of course, Matt Holliday, as we all remember, 2007, what he did for the Colorado Rockies, getting them to the World Series with that incredible run. And then I believe Berkman, and go figure, they did all this without Albert Pujols, their best player for so many years, and their manager, Tony La Russa. Of course, Mike Matheny has done wonders with this team, and I got to give it up. First year, no managerial experience whatsoever, and he's got this team on the cusp of going back to the World Series with a chance to defend their title, and looking to become the first team since the 75-76 Big Red Machine, the Cincinnati Reds, to win back-to-back World Series. Of course, the last team to do it, of course, obviously, as we all know, the New York Yankees, when they did it 3 years in a row, 98, 99, and 2000. Nearly did it a fourth in 01, but we all remember what happened. Lost to Arizona in the greatest World Series ever. So, yeah, so, of course, on San Fran's side, you got Buster Posey, Pablo Sandoval, Hunter Pence, who they got at the trade deadline from Philadelphia. I mean, could really go either way with the offensive side of the ball. I mean, they're both so evenly matched, but I kind of have to give a slight edge to San Fran. I mean, Buster Posey, who was the hero of Game 5 with the Grand Slam, I mean, he's the player to watch for, really. And for St. Louis, probably would have to be Holliday. So, Holliday and Posey, that's the matchup I'm looking forward to on the offensive side of the ball. Managers, of course, Mike Matheny, first year, St. Louis, taking over for Tony La Russa after he retired. I mean, he's done wonders, like I said. And then Bruce Bochy, of course, had a lot of great years with San Diego. Of course, he's in San Fran. He led them to a World Series title just 2 short years ago in 2010, and has them on the cusp of going back there for the second time in 3 years. So I think this is going to be a great series. I don't really know who to give the edge to, but I got to be honest. I got to go with the St. Louis Cardinals here. I think the Cardinals will win this series in 6 games. So I think it'll be the St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Yankees in the 2012 World Series. Alright, that'll do it for this video. Of course, join me and Derek Ferreira, maybe Michael Fletcher tomorrow night at 10:30, as we will preview TNA Wrestling's biggest event of the year, their WrestleMania, Bound for Glory. And then Sunday night at 11, we will have a complete recap of the pay-per-view event, following the pay-per-view at 11. And then Monday night at 11, or after 11, an all-new edition of the Wrestling Forum, as we're going to give our review of Monday Night Raw episode 1012, and our top 10 rankings of the most beautiful women, the top 10 women in wrestling history. So, until then, it's Anthony Florio saying, you know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah. Throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now. Have a great weekend, everybody. You've been watching The Tone 25 on YouTube.com. See you tomorrow night.